Okay, this video is about teaching English in Surat Thani. So Surat Thani is just north of Krabi and Panga. Surat Thani is a main province, and then the islands of Koh Samui and Phangan and Koh Tao are also part of Surat Thani. But they're located kind of, a serious distance away. I taught English in Surat Thani at a high school there. I taught M4, M6, sometimes M5, M3, and 2 sometimes. Mostly M4, M3. So Surat Thani as a place to stay as a teacher, they frequently have a lot of foreigners. There's a lot of schools in Surat Thani, so a lot of them do need English teachers. Even I think the tech schools even had English teachers. I think Rajapat hires about 6 or 8 English teachers. Used to be native English speakers. I'm not sure so much now. A lot of Thailand schools have cut back on native English speakers, and they're giving jobs to Filipinos primarily, and other non-native English speakers, people from France, people from all over. So living in Surat Thani is kind of cool. It's kind of a central area, right? You do have a train station. You do have an airport. The train station going north will take you up through Hua Hin into Bangkok, and from there to Chiang Mai or wherever you want to go, to Ubon. Going south will take you toward Nakhon Si Thammarat over in the east. I guess that way on the video. Over in the east, so it won't go to Phuket, which it looks like it should just go straight down to Phuket. There is no train to Phuket. So the train goes to Nakhon, and then it goes further south to Hua Hin and places like that, Songkla. So we stayed in Surat Thani just over a year. I would say we enjoyed it just because we hadn't lived in Krabi yet, so it wasn't horrible. There's a decent amount of traffic. The roads are not always wide enough, to make it comfortable for traffic. It's a little more dangerous to drive a motorbike in Surat, I would say. Let me fix this so it's even a little bit more. Because there are so many kids going to school there, and I mean teens in tech schools and stuff, it makes it a little more dangerous. I had at least one close call I remember that wasn't so good. I cut in front of somebody that was passing me on the left, so kind of a bad situation. Anyway, they do have shopping, so they have Tesco, they have Macro, they have Big C, they have Central World, or Central something now, which is a huge mall. Has Starbucks, lots of different places to eat. The food court is decent there. The somtam in the food court is good, I remember. And I think they had a Japanese. Did they have a No. They had some kind of chicken that I liked. Anyway, so the mall is good there. If you want shopping, you've got everything there. You don't have to go to Phuket. From Krabi here, we go up to Surat Thani because less traffic than Phuket. Central is big enough for everything that we need, and it's a nice drive up there. The drive to Phuket is just kind of crappy. Living in Surat Thani, they have great places to eat. You have to find them. It's not a place filled with great food, like easy to find. You kind of have to find it. It's kind of locals, areas where you have to find who makes the best of everything. But still, we found good food there. There's a couple restaurants. One restaurant by the park up there, by the military base and by the park. You can find it on the map. I wouldn't know how to explain it anymore. It's been many years since I've been there to teach there. Boy, that restaurant is amazing. I'm sure it's still there. It was there for a decade. I'm sure it's still there. Yeah, so a lot of foreigners, 30, 40, 50, 100 probably, maybe 100 different foreigners teaching English up there in the area, so you'll see people. There were a couple different foreign restaurants, so we had that when I was there. There probably are some more now. I would say easy to get around walking because it's all kind of in one spot. I'd say pretty easy to get around walking if you wanted to walk and not rent a motorbike. If you weren't familiar with riding a motorbike, do not rent a motorbike. That if you have any doubt in your mind that you can maneuver a motorbike on Thailand roads always successfully without getting into a crash or causing one, it's super important. Just don't ride one if you don't have that confidence. I'm going to do a motorbike video, probably a couple of them. I have ridden well over 200,000 kilometers here. 250 easy in the 17 years I've been here. So I rode a motorbike in the States as well for a while. So I think I have a good grasp on how to drive here without crashing. Anyway, there's plenty of, I think there's tuks, there's motorbike taxis, and there's songthaews, the pickup truck with seats in the back. You can take those anywhere. Songthaews are very cheap. They just kind of motor around the city area. You just jump on one, jump off where you want. It used to be 10 baht for a while. I think it went up to 20 baht for everybody now. Just very convenient. What else could I tell you? Price, like cost of living in Surat Thani is okay. I mean, I think it's probably the average, just probably average of all of Thailand. It's not very cheap. It's not very expensive. You should be happy paying the price. I mean, for a bowl of soup or something, it should be like 40 baht. Variety of food. There are Muslims in Surat Thani, but it's not huge. It might be 10% of the whole city or something. So you'll have more Thai food restaurants than you would like a half and half Muslim situation. So if you like Thai food, it's better. You'll have the option to get Muslim food if you want, the curries and stuff. Indian food, I don't think we had when I was there. Indian food we didn't have. I don't know, maybe a restaurant has moved in since then. Possible. So it's a modern city. It's a Thai city. It's not, there's no real tourists. The tourists just come through to go to the islands. If you see tourists there, they're usually at the bus station or they're just there for a day so they can transit to the islands or back to Bangkok or wherever. So it's, the city of Surat Thani is used as a transit place for foreigners. So you'll see some, but not really that many at all. People don't really speak English very well at all there. Are there jobs for after school to teach? There's some agencies that you could get with, these little classrooms, that you could join and teach after hours if you wanted to. You could teach in your house if you wanted to. I don't know how that is anymore. I don't know how much immigration cares, but it's possible you get sent home if you do something like that. Just be careful. What else could I tell you? There's the ocean there. It's not nice ocean. There's no nice beach right there in Surat Thani, the main province. But you have access to boats, which will get you to the ocean at the island. Mountains, Tai Ram Yen National Park, I think it's about 40 kilometers south. There's a mountain chain there. Good for snakes, good for, it's a beautiful waterfall, many levels. I think there's at least 8 levels of waterfall you can climb up. A nice little hike through the forest. It's going to be hot probably. But a beautiful spot, very green, lush, thick rainforest. Some of the most dense rainforest I've seen in Thailand. It's nice. So you have that, you have, what is it called? Kamin Cave, Kamin or something? Some huge cave there. You can walk through, it takes 40 minutes to get through about. And you can see bats and snakes and spiders and whip scorpions and centipedes and frogs and toads and geckos, and so you can see a lot of different stuff. It's pretty cool too. So you have that. We liked it because it was kind of central to. We could reach Krabi very easily. We could reach Phuket pretty easily. We could hit Nakhon Si Thammarat pretty easily to look at the temples for amulets and stuff. It's easy to go right up the coast to hit Hua Hin or Prachuap Khiri Khan or something like that. It has the airport, which we use a couple of times. Mostly we just use the train. It's very convenient. There's a station called Phun Phin, just 10, 12, 15 kilometers south of Surat Thani city central. So you just drive down there, 15 kilometers. It's called Phun Phin, Phunpin station, train station. And from there you can get to Bangkok or whatever. You could do night trains or whatever. So we enjoyed it. Would we enjoy it now? Not as much. Living in Krabi, Krabi is better, we think. But of course, the teaching here in Krabi is way less paid. I think in Surat Thani you can make 35,000 with a bachelor's from the States, pretty easy. That's probably the average. If you go to Rajaput, I think they were trying to pay something like 28,000 baht last time I looked into it. I don't know why the universities pay so little. Some of the universities don't require that you actually stay there at the school the whole time. So you might have to come in just when you have hours to teach. They might let you go. So you have to look at it that way. It might be nice to get 28,000 and be able to leave anytime you don't have a class, right? Plenty of primary schools, plenty of kindergartens. It's I wouldn't say it's when Central went up, it became more crowded. A lot more people moved in there, I think, over the years. So it's kind of a crowded city. I guess that's fair to say. And not very easy to live on the outskirts, so you probably have to live sort of in the city. There's lots of housing now. There used to be very rare that I could find a house. There was one group of old houses up near the school where I taught, and those were like 5,000 baht. They were massive houses with like 4 bedrooms, 3-4 baths, huge rooms. I mean, they were just older. They were 10 years old at that point, but now, of course, they're 20, 25 years old. But you could probably still get them for 5,000. There's a lot of new developments, so there's newer houses. They're smaller. You could also get those for 5, 6, 7, 8,000, maybe 10,000 now. I bet prices have gone up pretty good by now. But now there's a lot of housing options for you. A lot of housing complexes have been built, and probably much easier to find a place than it used to be. Okay, I think that's probably all. Transportation, where you're gonna live, train, plane, ease of getting to different places, easy to get to Trong too, I didn't mention. So other places around there, you have national parks. Khao Sok is not too far from I think it's in Surat, it's part of Surat. But it's still about a 60 or so, maybe 80 kilometer drive. Huge park. They have elephants, and I think they have tigers and some other wild cats and things like that. But a beautiful place too. You could just go there sometimes. Surat is a decent place to teach. Good place to start, I guess. And you'll make decent money and have some options to teach after school because there's so many students there in the area because so many schools. All right, I hope that helps, and good luck getting a teaching job in Thailand. All right, cheers.